Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. Today I'm reviewing Amazing Spider-Man number 49. And while it was fun overall, I find myself a little annoyed, and we're going to talk about why. So, first and foremost, if you had been reading Amazing Spider-Man, and you hadn't paid attention to any of the previews in the back, like any of the solicits, right? And you've just been reading one issue after another, and then you picked up this bad boy after reading 48, you would probably be more than a little confused. And it wouldn't be your fault. You would feel like, wow, I fucking missed something, and you would be right. You were supposed to, in addition to buying your weekly Spider-Man books, or weekly. Wow, I wish. Bi-weekly Spider-Man books, you were also supposed to buy this one-shot, one-off issue called The Sins of Norman Osborn. Now, I don't generally mind extra supplementary material as a rule, but the thing that I really got bothered by about this this one-off, this one shot, it felt so superfluous. Not that what happened in it wasn't important, right? Sins of Norman Osborn had this meeting of the minds from all these other spider-themed characters in Spider-Man's life who Madam Web has a vision of Spider-Man dying, and she gets all these Spider-Man characters together, and Norman Osborn is gonna rise to power again, and he's gonna lead to the death of our favorite wall crawler, and we cannot allow that. We have to let bad things happen to Norman Osborn, because Spider-Man is gonna try to stop those bad things from happening because he's a goddamn do-gooder, and it's going to ruin everything. That's primarily what that issue is about, The Sins of Norman Osborn. And then we get a little bit of forward momentum in the main plot, with Spidey and Norman Osborn starting to to begrudgingly work together because there was a riot in the Ravencroft Institute. Shit's going down. The Sin Eater and his followers are fucking ransacking the place and taking over. The lunatics are taking over the asylum, and in an effort to buy them time, fucking Norman lets the Juggernaut loose. I don't even understand why Juggernaut is in the fucking Ravencroft Institute, because I don't follow the X-Men books. I have no idea how that happened. But for those of you who don't know, Ravencroft is basically like Spider-Man's Arkham Asylum from Batman. So now that it's Norman Osborn lets the Juggernaut loose, and Spider-Man's like, oh my god, this is horrifying. And then Norman fucking unveils a hidden cache of goblin gear. And that's cool, because we're supposed to look at that and go, oh shit, the Green Goblin's coming back for real. Norman Osborn is putting on his gaudy fucking costume again, and shit's gonna pop off. Now, there was nothing really wrong with that story. The issue I had at the time was, why the fuck? Why the fuck is this its own standalone story? Why is this here? What's up with this? Why isn't this just part of, why wasn't this just the plot of issue number 49, right? Well, the reason this wasn't the plot of issue number 49 is fucking blatant. See, issue 49 is 49 as far as this volume is concerned. But in terms of legacy numbering, that being, if you went back to Amazing Spider-Man, number 1 back in the 60s, and you counted up all the issues since then, if you just went on an issue by issue basis and you completely disregarded the couple of times they reset the numbering and started new volumes like this one and a couple ones before that, if you added up all the issues since the inception of the series, supposedly it amounts to 850 issues. There's a lot of debate about how accurate legacy numbering is, because a lot of times mistakes are made, and sometimes they count things that It's questionable how much they should be counted, but I digress. The reason, I think anyway, that that Sins of Norman Osborn exists is because they were like, we wanted to get the story into position so that we could fucking do like crazy shit with issue number 49/850, and we could charge an exorbitant price, and we can do this like massive fucking oversized issue, and it is like 90 something pages, right? But the thing I always hate about these things, right, is they do these backup stories, but the backup stories almost never move anything forward. And in this case, with issue 49, the backup stories don't really inform anything. You know, they don't really add anything to the overall story. They don't set up anything cool or interesting. And it actually ends on a very like anticlimactic story. A very low key backup that doesn't. It's about the Vulture and his granddaughter, which I cannot begin to give a fuck about. Like, what is this doing here? There are far more important things going on right now. Like, I'm not gonna come off this crazy story about Spider-Man, the Green Goblin, and their history together, and then be like, oh man, but what's gonna happen with the Vulture's granddaughter? I don't care. That's so weird. Fuck out of here. That's not who okays these things. That's the note that you're gonna end this fucking, it's not an annual, but this supersized issue on? Fuck off. What is that? But all right, so I've talked about Sins of Norman Osborn, and I have also started to talk about 49. So let's talk more about 49. So 49 has some cool elements to it. You know, Norman's the Green Goblin again. That's crazy. He takes the Goblin formula, which that kind of confused me. Like, I thought I lost track of what's going. So okay, I got fucked because I stopped paying attention to Dan Slott's run because I fucking hated it so much. That's the only time in my life I've ever really stopped reading Amazing Spider-Man. Is like the back half of Dan Slott's run, like around the time Spider-Man, like around shortly after the end of the Superior Spider-Man era. Like, I read all the Superior, Peter came back into his body, like, you know, fucking started to kind of clean up his life a little bit. Once the Parker Industries bullshit started, though, I noped the fuck out. I was like, I'm done. I can't believe this. I'm done reading Spider-Man. And so I would like pay attention to summaries, but I didn't really fucking, so I had like no idea what was going on with Norman. So when in this arc, it's like Norman Osborn is running the Ravencroft Institute, I was like, I'm sorry, fucking what now? And then it's like, oh man, he's taking the Goblin formula, but wait, I thought that he'd already taken the Goblin formula forever ago, and that was just a done deal. Like, when did he lose his powers? Like, is that the implication? He doesn't have his powers, so now he, but if he could have taken the formula at any time, if he just had access to it ready to go, why is he just taking it now? Was he just like, I mean, he's Norman Osborn, so he's buku fucking nuts. So I can imagine that he was like, I have to wait for just the right moment to take, I have to wait for a dramatically appropriate moment to take my serum again and fucking reactivate my powers or whatever. I don't quite understand. But I just kind of took it I took it on the chin, and I was like, all right, so Norman didn't have his powers or whatever. Now he has them again. Now he's full on Green Goblin again, and he's been working on some nefarious plans behind the scenes. So that's cool. We hint at that a little bit. That's interesting. I'm sure that will come back in a big bad way. Like, they really hammer home the fact that like Norman Osborn was planning some crazy shit. And it's meant to be ominous, and then they pull it off like pretty well. But it's kind of like positioned in a way like, oh, but now his plans are abandoned. Are they, though? So Norman and Spider-Man are kind of forced to work together, which is interesting. I don't think we've ever seen a Spider-Man Green Goblin team up. Somebody's going to actually in the comments. No, Spider-Man and Harry, when Harry was Green Goblin, teamed up at least once before. But I don't think we've ever seen a true team up between Peter and Norman before, so that was interesting. So they combine forces and they fucking go up against the Sin Eater riots, and then like the main guy, Sin Eater, fucking Stan Carter, he like takes on the powers of the Juggernaut. So congratulations, Norman, you like fucking created your own fucking mess. Good job. So they have a really awesome fight. Spider-Man and Green Goblin team up against the Juggernaut. There's some really kind of cool, surprisingly emotionally poignant moments between Peter and Norman, things that I never really thought that we'd get to see. You kind of peel back some layers on Norman's psyche a bit, and you almost start to feel sympathetic to him here or there, and it's really interesting. That's cool. And then like so then like all the web warriors show up, right? All those other like fucking spider characters that I was talking about before. They finally show up to save Spider-Man from Norman because they beat the Juggernaut, and then inevitably Norman turns on him. And they show up and they fucking help him overpower Norman and get the win. And they all go to escape. Now, there is another cool moment where we've got Spider-Gwen, alternate reality Gwen Stacy, now folded into the main universe, like, you know, acting as Ghost Spider, I guess is what she's called now. You know, in the same room as Spider-Man and Norman Osborn. And Norman Osborn, because like Peter calls her Gwen during the fight, and then Norman starts sniffing her because he's a creep show. And he's like, oh, I'd heard the rumors, but you're Gwen, aren't you? I mean, you're not my Gwen because I killed her. But oh boy, he's like, what are you? Are you a clone? Are you from an alternate dimension? Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, this is so exciting. He's like oozing evil creep vibes. And Spider-Man has a cool moment where he gets to be like really protective, and he's like, you know, like, shut up. Like, you don't talk to her. You don't look at her. That's cool. I really liked Spider-Man actually being protective of Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy. I wish that moment hadn't gotten interrupted, but this is 2020 and we can't have men standing up and being protective of women. So that moment is undercut a little bit where Gwen kind of obnoxiously cuts in and says something like, you know, excuse, I don't need you to protect me. Thanks. That's really obnoxious. I don't want to get on my soapbox too much, but like, I just want to say that's not how, like, speaking as somebody who has been in those situations in real life, on both sides of the equation, generally speaking, when you stand up for people, regardless of gender, their immediate reaction is not to yell at you for fighting their battles. Usually when people do, you know, they might be like, thanks, I got it. Like, you know, no, I can handle this. Like, but they're generally not like fucking like, I don't need you to stick up for me. Like, that's not really a thing. I get it. It's a little bit of feminism. It's 2020. That's not really where we're going. Like, people don't like seeing, you know, men trying to be macho on behalf of women. And surely, you know, Ghost Spider, like Gwen Stacy, is no damsel. So, like, I get it. I just don't like it. I like a little bit of that fucking, you know, classic gallantry in my comics. But then again, I would, right? So that's kind of annoying, but it's still a cool scene where he gets to be a little protective, and that I wish that relationship was explored a little bit more between those two. Maybe they haven't really explored it because it's so inherently weird, right? But that's cool. And to be fair, you know, Gwen tries to be all fucking like, no, I don't need you to fight my battles. And then Norman just keeps going because he's a fucking creep. And he makes all kinds of insinuations about how he's gonna kill her just like he killed the other Gwen, and he's gonna ruin his Peter's life all over again and torment him. So, like, Pete doesn't kill him, but he also doesn't save him either. He gets so enraged at Norman's bullshit that he, like, leaves him to die. But, like, I mean, it's worth noting that he's kind of, like, hoping that Norman will die. So it's kind of a little bit closer to that line, right, that he normally won't cross. He doesn't cross it, but he bumps up against it. And he leaves Norman to die, a la Batman Begins. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. But of course, Norman survives. He just kind of like fucking walks off into this like this another corner of his subterranean complex bullshit. And then at the end, we get a little bit of narration from Kindred, who has been largely absent this entire issue, by the way. And he just talks some more shit about how like fucking like, oh, Spider-Man, your sins will always come back to haunt you no matter how hard you try to bury them. And Kindred is standing in a graveyard, and it's alternating shots between like Norman walking away from this fucking disaster, off into his like hidden depths, and Kindred like standing in this graveyard, looking all menacing, and we don't see whose grave he's standing in front of. And that's it. And I'll tell you, man, I was so fucking annoyed because I was really hoping for more. It was a fun issue. I was just really annoyed that, like, I didn't feel like much had been, the plot really hasn't been moved forward all that much. There's still like no real fucking answers given about Kindred. I was really hoping that like, okay, are we going to find out who Kindred is in this issue? Is it finally going to get revealed? Or are we going to get at least like a really big fucking like hint? We don't. I mean, he's standing in front of a grave, so I guess we can assume that that's his grave, or it was his grave. Man, that gets confusing. So, I mean, I guess you could argue that that's a hint that like, oh, he's standing in front of a grave of the, that he really might be somebody resurrected. Like, but I think everyone's just kind of expected that at this point. Like, we're all kind of like, yeah, no, that's what it is. Fucking, but nothing happens. Norman takes the fucking goblin formula. And they finally beat the Sin Eater, I guess. That's... No, but do they even beat the Sin Eater? Shit. I'm just now realizing, like, they... Oh, fuck. I just realized they don't even beat the Sin Eater, I think. They leave him trapped, but I don't think they even defeat him definitively. Shit. I gotta go back and read the issue again. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I don't even think they definitively defeat him. I think they just trap him. They escape and they fuck off. Oh my god. Holy shit. So not even the Sin Eater plot gets resolved, I don't think. Oh no. Shit. Oh my god. And in fact, Sin Eater is even more powerful now because he's got the Juggernaut's abilities. Fuck. Oh my god. So, shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh god. All right. But really, the main plot has not progressed much. There's cool character beats, there's cool action moments, but not much actually happens. And the best part, the capstone on all of this, is we just got this 90-page issue, right? It's a big fucking deal because while it's 49 in terms of this numbering, it's 850 in terms of legacy numbering. Well, this was issue 49. Guess what's next issue? I don't know if you guys can count, but in case you can't count, and I'm not one to judge, I can barely do anything above grade school math. Next issue is issue 50. And if they fucking charge like fucking $6-7 for another back-to-back, like, quadruple size issue. Oh my god. That would be so blatantly exploitative. exploitative. Yeah, that'd be so fucking blatantly exploitative that, like, oh my God, it's kind of hilarious. I'm sorry. You're listening, I guess. You're listening to my brain break in real time. Maybe I am the Green Goblin. Perhaps my insanity will give rise to a new Spider-Man supervillain. Holy shit, guys. It was a fun issue. It just... it just could have been so much more. God damn it. All right. That's my review. Jesus Christ. That's my kind of zany review for Amazing Spider-Man. I guess actually it's a combo review. I might actually change the title of this because I guess it ended up being sort of a review of Amazing The Sins of Norman Osborn and Amazing Spider-Man number 49. Jesus Christ. So I'll see you guys in another couple of weeks for Amazing Spider-Man number 50. I'm gonna go check the solicits. Like, as soon as I render this out, I'm gonna go check the solicits and see like what the projected page count is on number 50. I guarantee you it's gonna be an oversized issue. Oh my God. Oh, I can't fucking wait. Oh, I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.